All right. So you were saying you were going to tell me about your story.
Yeah. So after the Navy, this is about 2016, right? I knew for a fact I didn't want to go into this, regular job because I wanted to pursue something that I know would be fulfilling. I know that, I would have a drive/passion for. What that was at that time, I didn't know. So I found myself at a place out here called Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, and they had a massage therapy program. I said, hey, that's something I've always been interested in. So I pursued that. While I was going through that program, Phil, one of my classmates, we were in a business class, right? And he pulls up this website. He's not showing me. I just happened to catch eye of it, of this place called National Personal Training Institute out here in San Diego. It's like 3 locations, but one or 2 of them is here in the San Diego area. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they have a actual school for personal training? And instantly, all my gym experience, all that just set right now. I said, you know what? I can actually do that. I have the background. I've been around trainers as long as I can remember. Yeah. Let me go ahead, take the plunge there. And they took the GI Bill for payments. That works for me.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And side note, school is so much easier when you don't have to worry about paying for it.
Right. No, it's great.
Yeah.
And was this, how long ago was this? This wasn't during, you said you've been training for 3 years now, right?
Yeah. I started at my school in 2018. So we're looking at like 3 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
So altogether, I was at MPTI for a whole year. I did my CPT course. And then they're all underneath NASM, right? They're an academic partner for NASM. And so I did my CPT course. Then I went into corrective exercise. Then I went to performance exercise. And just recently, I got my certification in health coaching. So I have those 3. Those are actually 4 certifications underneath my belt, because there's fitness nutrition, there's weight loss specialist, corrective exercise, and performance exercise. So I have those 4. As I was completing my performance exercise class, this gym called EOS, you probably heard of them. One of their reps, actually the area fitness manager down in the San Diego area, came to MPTI and said, hey, we're opening up a club in Oceanside, which is about 40 minutes north of where I live. So I said, okay, might as well get my feet wet somewhere. So I went ahead and did that. Ended up being a great place. The team was great. Of course, the facility was amazing. It was brand new. But we were falling right into that same, like you said, you call it the golden handcuffs. That's the same thing. All this great equipment, this great facility, but we're not getting paid right. And for me, it was like, I didn't really think about it much. But then as time went on, because they fed us the story of, okay, the fitness managers, pretty much the guys who run the whole fitness personal training team, would be responsible for securing clientele and assigning it to the trainers, right? So we figured, okay, let's stress for us.
You don't have to prospect. You don't have to advertise.
Right.
You get to use their equipment. It's an old song, and I think it's a valuable stepping stone. For a new trainer, and I think that it's an important stepping stone to get to a place of appreciation for where you are in the private sector now.
Right.
Does you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
keep talking. I'm listening.
Well, no. I wanted to ping it back to you because you were telling me the story of they came and hired you for a. They came and hired you for a big box gym and then said like, hey, new trainer with your certificate, why don't you come and work here and we'll give you all these clients and we'll pay you $45 an hour. How does that sound? You're like, normal hourly wage is like $15 at the time of this conversation. But that sounds pretty good. And because you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And I think it's an important part of the process. Because before, like at NPTI, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but that's grade school, right? And then you go to college, which is the big box gym where you apply what you've learned in grade school. And then if you want to get a master's degree, which is the program that you're in now, then you're out on your own and you're seeking your own education and you're molding your service to, you know, to your own style and the style of the clients that are drawn to you.
Yeah, and I'd say that I dove into that a lot faster than I expected. We can thank COVID for that, because and the wild part about it, Phil, is I was at the point, or rather, we started feeling, the training team at EO started feeling kind of the heat from management, where you remember we said you don't have to prospect, we kind of lied. So now we're gonna need you. Now we're gonna need you to do that. Now it's like, what?
Yeah.
So now we're all feeling the heat of that. Our lead personal trainer is giving us heat from up top there because he has to relay the message. So we're like, all right, here we go. But then just as we started really feeling the pressure, that's when COVID hit.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that's when everything had to shut down.
So how did that transition from, you know, your sales goal of, you know, whatever, 5-10 grand a month, just going off of what I remember mine being at Bally's, they're like, go sell $10,000 worth of training. And I'm like, that's a lot. Like, okay.
That is a lot.
Like, okay. And the next month you're going to sell $11,000 worth of training. And I'm like, how does that work? Like, you know, there's just
right.
upward trends is all we really care about. So my question for you is like, how did that translate in, you know, once COVID hit, like nobody really knew what was going on. And like, you know, were people, what happened? What happened at EOS?
Well, basically, so let me back up a little bit. So we weren't getting those kind of, you know, sales goals. You know, they were tell us we had to go out and sell it. They were basically telling us go get new members. They didn't give us they didn't give us any numbers.
They said what? Go get new members?
Just basically get, or rather than new members, new clients. Just prospect, get new clients. They didn't really break down like numbers for us. They say, okay, this is gonna be no commission for. I mean, we would get a little something for who we brought in, like personally, but they never really pushed that on us. They just pushed more on getting clientele, right?
Right.
You know, but then when COVID hit, of course we had to shut down. They furloughed us, and we were just pretty much out of commission for at least, I'm gonna say, a couple of months. And then they tried to open up again, and it really wasn't the same. In hindsight, I think it was really premature because we were probably open for a month before we had to shut down again. But then during that month I was there, it was more, okay, I'm already working with limited clientele already because half of them don't feel comfortable with coming into the gyms yet, which is totally understandable.
Right.
And but then there's still that pressure to try to get them back and then get more. So it was like kind of like double the pressure now. But then we shut down again. And during the second shutdown, I was more like, okay, you know, this is not necessarily the path I was expecting with personal training, but it took a good friend of mine whom I met at EOS. He is an independent trainer, but he was working out there. You know how most indies do. You know, they have their facility where they train. They go like to maybe to the box gym just to work out just on their own, right? That's where I met him. We got to talking about it, and he just said, dude, just take the chance and go out on your own. Is that you have the clientele, you have the personnel, you have the energy. Give it a shot. If you fail, you fail. You know, at least you tried. And I was slightly hesitant about it in the beginning, but I started thinking about it.
It's scary going out.
Yeah.
On your own. It's definitely scary.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay. And my analytical thinking, I was like, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that thing, A, B, C, D, and E. But then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I have one or two options. I could either be here, wait it out till EOS opens up again, and we didn't know when that was going to happen. You may have a secure job, but it's not guaranteed you're going to have that secure clientele, and then they're going to be on your case about getting more. Or you can get the small group of clientele that you kept a really good rapport with, put the message out. This is what this is what I'm doing. This is the direction I'm going. If you're interested, join along. If not, I understand. I chose the latter. And I put all the clients I knew in a group chat. I said, listen, guys, I'm making the decision to go independent. I'm going to be training at this independent facility.
Not soliciting, but here's exactly where I'll be.
Yeah, not soliciting at all. If this is what if you want to join along, the door's open. If not, I get it. If like whenever you need my assistance, feel free to call me. Well, long story short, I was able to pull 7 clients of the 15 that I had, and it got at
solid,
my
man.
max. At my max. So I kind of hit the ground running pretty nicely, I would say. And from there, I gained anywhere between 5 to 6 more clients for a while. So that was great, and that kept me afloat, for a while. But as one understands in this training business, it's not guaranteed your client's gonna be around forever.
Of course.
And what happened recently was 3 of my clients had to take off because they had other obligations, family, school, and then a couple of my other clients decided to go inactive for a couple of months, just trying to enjoy their summer or whatever. And I'm planning to get back with them in July. And another one got pregnant. So, and I'm still in contact with them. So what I think the learning process I got from there is, it's great that you have these clients, have a nice little steady, flow of clients, but it's not guaranteed they're going to be there forever. So there has to be.
Well, what's guaranteed? What's guaranteed? Nothing.
Nothing's guaranteed. It's. But that was the lesson I learned. And another thing that I've realized that I have to really get my game up, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, is my marketing. Because I'll be the first to admit, I can do a job with no problem, but I think for me, or historically, my challenge has been being able to present that in a way that I think people are going to gravitate toward. Okay. So it's really been a learning process in just learning how to market it. And I think little by little, I'm starting to get more and more comfortable. If you see my IG, I'm doing a lot more, of that. And it's just basically
give a shout out. I'll put it in the show notes, but give a shout out to what your IG is real quick for those people listening.
Yes, my IG is BDF. That's my initials. Brent Dwayne Foster. BDF Body Therapy on Instagram.
Nice.
So I've been really getting kind of, I wouldn't say forcefully, but kind of forcefully getting more comfortable in marketing myself, because I figure at this point I'm self-employed, so ain't nobody else gonna do it for me, so I better do this myself.
It's, man, just going back, first of all, I just want to say, I've known you for 14 years now.
Yes, sir.
And I've seen you come a long, long way. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to reach out and have this conversation with you is because I wanted to hear your story. Because last time, we used to live together in a house with 1 or 2 other dudes. They kind of it was kind of like a frat house type.
It was pretty much.
People came and went, and it was crazy times. But you were working front desk at Bally's, and then you were a music teacher for a while. And then you joined the Navy. And then you were, and if I'm getting the chronology of this, the timeline of this messed up, please correct me.
That's fine.
And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to go and do a Chinese medicine thing, and then I'm going to be a personal trainer, and then COVID, and then gym thing, and then COVID, and now you're working for yourself. And it sounds like, I could tell that from your posts and from your social presence that you are indeed thriving. And the fact that you're hungry for more tells me that you will find it, right? Because those who those who seek the education and have that hunger for better service to their clientele will often find it. It's the people that expect handouts and like I'm owed something, they don't get anything. Life doesn't throw things their way. So kudos to you, man, for the ladder that you're climbing up, because man, you are many rungs higher than last time we had a conversation. I think that's fucking awesome.
Well, I greatly appreciate that, man. And listen, I will also say that I had a lot of people, yourself included, that you may not know this, really inspired me, because, you know, I think about cats like you. You remember Lisa Marie Patterson we used to work with over there? Her, just a wide variety of trainers that I came up around. I wasn't necessarily in the game at that time, but coming up and being in the fitness industry and watching you guys expand, watching you guys excel, watching you guys grow, not necessarily your brand, but also your businesses. It was like, wow, these guys are really doing it, you know? And then for me, when I consider back then to where I am now, I can honestly say that during that time, I was in a season where I really didn't know where I was going. I didn't really
It's called your 20s, man. It's called your 20s.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Trying to figure it out, you know, because when I started working at Bally, I was just coming back to California because I was living in Boston, where I was pursuing music education for school. And that didn't work.
What type of music were you playing?
Just general, because I'm not necessarily like
strings. What?
Arranging, piano work, instrumental work, studio work, the whole 9 yards.
Cool.
Like, you know, like recording, production, and stuff like that. I was doing all of that.
Yeah.
But that didn't pan out the way I expected. So with life, I said, okay, what's the plan B? That was something I was always taught, you know, growing up. Have a plan B. Now, I didn't know exactly what it was going to be like. It just kind of revealed itself to me. Yeah. Because, you know, when I consider my experience in the fitness industry, it's really been almost, I want to say 20 years when I think about it. Because I'm thinking, you know, when I was like a 18, 19-year-old kid working at what's now known as Fitness SF in Oakland. It was used to be Gold's Gym out there, right? So that's where I started. Yeah. So I started there. Of course, went off to the East Coast, came back, then got up with Bally. Yeah. So it's like I kind of just came back and just kind of picked up where I left off almost. But even though I was doing that, it was like, okay, still not knowing what my path's gonna be, not having clear vision of where I'm going. So then leave the Bay Area, move down to San Diego. And I think moving there kind of made it, all right, I gotta get my ass in gear with, you know, what my future is going to look like. Because I don't want to wake up being 35, wondering what I'm going to do with my life. So that kind of led me to doing the military for just 4 years. And I didn't think I could even get in at the time, but apparently I could. So did that.
How old were you when you went to the military?
I was 32 when I went in, man. So I was an old dude.
Yeah, that's old for the military. Yeah. And how old are you now? You're 39?
Dude, I will be 42 this August.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's let that sink in for a second, right?
I love you as a person. I hate your genetics just because I'm jealous. Just because I'm jealous. That's awesome.
I get that a lot. Trust me. But it's cool. But I tell people all the time, genetics is only half of it. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta, you know, keep up with what you have. You know, otherwise. You may have the face of a 25-year-old with the body of a 74-year-old. So,
yeah, that's true.
But throughout, long story short, it was basically a trial and error journey to get to where I am now. Yeah. And in that time, I just realized how much I actually love this game. I really do. You know, I love being. I mean. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you active. It's like, you know, it's just an all around just awesome energy to be around. And for me to establish a career in it and just continue to build on it, it's like I couldn't ask for anything more. So, you know, I think I'm doing great right now, but I know there's more out there. So that's kind of the focus I'm on right now.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing that I love about this business is the people that you meet, the type of people that you interact with. You know, there's no other business where you can meet as many an array of people, a different like spectrum, from lawyers to corporate, you know, whatever guys, to freaking like trash men, to you know, fishmongers, to
all walks of life.
Yeah, to like, you know, semi-professional to professional athletes. And it's just what's really, really great about this is it's like it's the one thing everybody has kind of an even, they start out on an even playing field. Doesn't matter like what color you are, what kind of advantages you had in life. You're like, if it's you and gravity, or you and a barbell, or you and a kettlebell, or you and you know, like a distance that you're running, like it's just you and that clock. And maybe your teammate, or the person you're in a group with, or your trainer, or whatever. And like, it doesn't matter. Like everybody, that's why there's so much camaraderie that's built in the fitness field. And I think it's, you know, you can talk all the shit you want, like from the business side of things to like, you know, posturing over in some other, like, you know, my restaurant's better than your restaurant, but when you step out onto the field, like, all right, well, let's see what you're made of. Like, talk's cheap, so let's see how your bite is, man. So that's what I love about it. If you get into a great atmosphere, also, which it sounds like you're in, it's kind of like the new golf course. You know, like people come in to talk business, or they just socialize, and there's, you know. And I mean, there's some clickiness to gyms. I know there was at Bally's back back in the day when we worked there. Excuse me. But the atmosphere that we have here at the studio, it seems like from your post that you guys have a really good click there too, or good community.
We do, man. And I just put on the race, but I say a trainer is only as good as the team it surrounds itself with. And let me tell you about the people over at Self-Made Training Facility, not just in Oceanside where I got started, but also in my second location in San Diego. They are some of the absolute best. I mean, from leadership to fellow trainers, it's like we all have an understanding that we are here to better ourselves, and what better way to better ourselves than with people who are on the same road as we are.
Yeah.
You know, one of my trainers quotes this, and it's probably a bigger quote than him, but he quotes it, say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Damn right. Yeah, it's great.
You know, and for me, it's like I couldn't have asked for a better team of trainers to be around and to soak up game from, and to pick up and that's one thing I tell my clients all the time. As a personal trainer, you are a constant student of your craft. You are constantly learning new things or new approaches to things. Like, for instance, at any given time, I'll be training one of my clients, but in my peripherals, I'll catch another trainer doing a certain exercise there, and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Let me go ask them. Hey, what does that do? What does that attack? You know, what is the approach that? And you soak up that, you try it on yourself. That's one thing. I try it on myself first, and then I put it on my clients to see how they respond to it.
Do you remember? Sorry, go ahead.
That's just my approach. I say, I know a nice little bit, but I'm always learning more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you were saying?
The more you learn, the less you'll know, is what I found. And when you said that, I wanted to add to your statement of a trainer is only as good as the people they surround themselves with. I wanted to add to that, a trainer is only as, you know, start with that, but also a trainer is only as good as the problems that they can solve. So one of the things that I do with my self is I coach trainers. It's kind of what I did at Equinox, and it's what I do in the public sector now also. And a lot of trainers who don't have that big box experience to know, like, if you don't know, like, that's the trenches, right? Like, that's like you're hustling for clients and I mean, granted, it's harder to pull clients in the private sector, but you're not getting paid well at all.
Right.
Comparative to what to the compensation that we expect now. But as a trainer, like, if you're making that $40 an hour, $50 an hour, if you don't have that experience to compare to, and you come in and you're like, I need $150 an hour for a training session, and like some of the trainers that I've been coaching, we do a full audit of their background, and they step in and like, I've been training for 3 years, and I'm like, cool, what do you charge? And they're like, $150 an hour. I'm like, really? Well, that's a lot for 3 years experience. Like, do you think you could solve this problem if someone told you about a hip dysplasia? And they're like, well, what's that? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And what about, like, not even heterochromia comes up, which has nothing to do with there's nothing to do. But like, what about like a type 2 diabetic? Could you tell me about a exercise program that would be good for type 3 versus type 1? And are you prenatal?
And do you know the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's like the difference between is that's easy enough. But like, are you able to solve the problems and avoid the roadblocks that would prevent this person from being successful? So that's kind of where the stepping stone of like let's say like grade school, college, and then grad school in the private sector. Some people just try to skip and go straight to grad school, and they find themselves and they outprice themselves from the market, and it just doesn't. They're constantly searching for clients because they can't provide the experience to match with their price point. And I see it happen time and time again. It's just kind of I think it might be kind of a sign of the times where it's like this, people are like, well, I'm special. Trainers are like, oh, I'm special. Like, I listened to this podcast that says I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. And it's kind of like, well, like, are you special? Like, I don't know that you are. Like, and I don't say this to anyone, but I will say anecdotally, when I really found success in the fitness field, Brent, it was when I stopped listening to my mom. And my mom's like, you're so special and you're unique and you're da-da-da. And you know what? This world owes you nothing.
Dude, I have such thoughts going through my head right now. I'll let you finish first.
Like the minute you stop feeling, that you're a special person and you get to work, that's when you get to work serving your clients, and you get to work bettering yourself, and you get to work learning how to solve those problems. That's when the real success comes, because the energy that you bring to the table of me, people feel that. And they feel, even with money, like if you're like, I'm trying to hit 10K a month in revenue, working for a big box, or if you have like a financial goal for yourself, like in my coaching programs, we don't set financial goals. We set service goals. Like, how many clients do you need to serve? How many problems do you need to solve? Because I also that, so I'll wrap up the first part. When one ceases the notion that they are special and are owed something, then the clouds clear and they can focus on the path forward on how to be the best, whatever, car mechanic, family therapist, swimmer, personal trainer, chef, whatever. Then you can really get to work. Then the magic starts to happen, because you don't have that like chip on your shoulder of like, well, where's mine? It's like the world owes you absolutely nothing. Get out of here with that.
I totally agree, Phil. And also, you and I have that mindset and that mentality because we came up a little differently. Like you said, we came up in that time where we said, listen, you got to go get it. Nobody's going to get it for you.
Yeah.
That may be a little bit of a hit to our ego, and it may brought a lot of frustration, but it built the character and the drive that we needed to make things happen. Unfortunately, as time has gone along, that whole I'm special, we hear that term participation trophy a lot. I went to class, now I've been for 3 years, that's not how this operates. And especially for those of us who had that boxing experience, we understand that a lot better than the ones that just jump and go straight into the private sector. And for me, that was kind of the approach I intended on taking. Like, I'm not gonna just jump into the private sector thinking I'm hot shit because I just got an MPTI with all these certifications.
Mm.
I still gotta go lay my foundation. I still have to go prove my worth. And for me, that was the way to do it. You know,
You're doing
and
it.
I did.
Yeah, and
You
you're
know,
still doing it.
yeah, and I tell my clients all the time. I said the worst thing you could ever tell me, and watch this statement. The worst thing you could ever tell me is your goals. Why? Because that's when I become your biggest cheerleader.
Okay, break that down for me. The worst thing you can tell me. So how does that work? How do you guide people?
What I mean by
I know you don't mean it how I'm taking it, but like break it down for me.
I know, and that's a little thing that kind of messes everybody. Like, the worst thing you're gonna tell me, I can tell you is my goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you tell me your goals, I become your biggest cheerleader. I become your biggest source of inspiration. Say, yes, we can do this. We can make this happen. It may not be an easy process. It may bring a little frustration to you from time to time. But if you roll with me, and you dedicate yourself to this process, I'm going to support you and assist you the whole way.
So how is that the worst thing that they could tell you?
Because, and I say that because, like, anything higher than that, I'm still going to support you.
Right.
So the worst thing is you tell me your goals. The highest thing you can tell me is, you know, I'm going to go compete.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That makes
The worst thing, like you mean like
it's basically
like
baseline.
level, like got it.
Yeah,
Like the first thing you need to tell me is your goal.
First thing, yeah.
Got it. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
So,
like we're at the bottom of the hill and we're going up. Okay,
right, exactly. So yeah, and then if you catch me in a session, Phil, I tell you, I'm half personal trainer, half comedian, because I get that I'm like a big old kid with them.
Don't forget that therapy part. There's a big part of it that's
yes.
a lot of therapy in there too.
And let me jump into why I named my business BDF Body Therapy. The way I looked at it like this: whenever we have mental or even emotional issues, whatever, what do? We go see a therapist. We go talk about our problems.
Or we drink.
Or you can, or there's the other option.
Yeah, that's the cheap therapy.
But just for the sake of explanation here.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just messing with you.
This is what we do. The way I see personal training, it's not we're by no stretch of the imagination physical therapist, but the activity, the stuff we're doing, the things we're showing our clients, it's helping them, you know, basically fight those physical issues that they've been having for who knows how long. And it could be anything from weight loss to building up endurance, you name it. You know, so my thing is, what we do, the services we offer is basically therapeutic. It's therapeutic for us physically. For many, it's therapeutic mentally. We hear it all the time. The gym is basically my therapy. You know, they go work out, stress reliever. We this is like basic stuff. So I took that approach and said, this, you know, because it's easy to say, you know, blah 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 fitness, blah 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 this. You know, I said let me switch it up again. Let me switch up the approach, and I call it body therapy.
Yeah, I like it. That's great.
Yeah.
Body
so
therapy.
yes, that's how that name came about.
So what's next for you? What do you you're on the rung, you're in the middle of the ladder, and you know, how far does the ladder go? What's the next rung?
You know, that's a good question, Phil. And I'm kind of like you with this. It's like I don't say I have like I say, okay, I want to be making $10,000 a month, but that's not a goal. At this point of the game, I'm just like, okay, how much? I'm taking the approach like you did at Equinox. How much can I learn? How much can I pick up? How much can I grow in this stage of the game? And once I feel like I've attained what I need, then I can move on. I guess if I were gonna put a goal, if I was gonna say what's next, I'd say maybe tapping into that online, market. And I'll be honest with you, I was very hesitant about it in the beginning. It's like, oh, come on, online? I mean, yeah, I guess it works, but again, going back to our background, I'm used to, one-on-one, face-to-face. Like I'm seeing you put in the work. My whole thing was like, okay, if it's online, it's not necessarily guaranteed that they're going to. I mean, depending on how certain people approach online training, they could go to like a website, pick up a whole bunch of workouts or what have you, and then just do whatever, and or do nothing at all, and you just still get paid for it if they just like automatic payment or something. I didn't want to take that approach to it. I wanted to, if I'm going to tap into online, I want to know, or I want to be sure that whoever has subscribed to my training services is actually doing the work. And
how would you, so there's ways to check on that. First of all, I can tell you the online thing is a good idea.
Okay.
You break into, right now you're trading hours for dollars, and online training not only allows you to break that cycle, but it allows you to monitor more people at once, an unlimited amount, and it breaks that first degree of separation. Meaning, you could have a client in Massachusetts that somebody heard about at church, because they're like, oh, look what BDF's doing on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever. And then you've got somebody reaching out to you via social or your website or email or whatever. And also the proximity wall comes down, completely goes away. No longer do they have to come and see you in San Diego. You can provide your service usually at a discounted rate from whatever your hourly rate is. I mean, that's what I would suggest.
Right.
And you can reach more people. Basically, there's a 40% of the United States is by technical speak obese, some form of obesity. 40%. Right.
That's wild.
For the most part, the leader of the first world. China's doing their thing, but we're dying of comfort. Like, people are being fed bullshit, high fructose corn syrup, and the 51 other names for sugar that there are. And basically, they need some sort of guidance. They need to be told. I mean, yes, freedom. You're free to do whatever you want. Freedom this, freedom that. Blah, blah, blah. Go ahead. Interesting. People say that we also have the highest incarceration rate of anyone in the world. So, are we really the freest? I don't know. But people need help. They need your help. They need to be coached. They need to, even if it's just, hey, go for a walk around the block. Here's what you're going to eat for dinner. Here's what you're going to eat for lunch. They need help. And that is why I highly recommend breaking into the online space, because you can go from, let's say you see eight clients in a day and you're freaking exhausted. You can go from seeing 8 clients a day to 100 clients a day, and you're helping that many more people.
That's true.
Just focus on how many people you're going to help, and it happens. That's one of the things that absolutely.
That's a good way of looking at it too. And I'll be honest, I didn't even think of it that way. But I'm definitely I'm more and more warming up to online, just for the reasons you explained. Because let's be real, though we love our gear, love our gigs, it's like, putting in 8 to 9 hours a day, especially on our feet, as long as we are. And they try to add in our own workouts on top of that.
Yeah.
So it is a lot. So I'm definitely warming up more to the online approach. And you're absolutely right. There's we can definitely hit a lot. You can definitely hit a lot more people with it too. So I would say that would be the next goal. That would be the next thing.
Good. Good.
As far as timeline goes, I'd say, I don't know, probably within the next, few months. Let's make it close. Let's see if we can make it happen with that.
Yeah. Well, it's your life to live. I just wanted to kind of give you that friendly nudge to start thinking about it, because people ain't getting any younger, and the big agro and their lobbying and their unlimited advertising budget are just going to keep shoveling shit in our face. And as health and fitness professionals, I believe we have a responsibility to counteract that campaign, that endless campaign of misinformation that Diet Coke is actually diet and fat-free is good. And the more people that we can reach and help with that, the better I sleep at night, at least.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, man. And sometimes, and you probably attest to this too, sometimes when we consider the industry we're in, it's like we're running a daycare of a bunch of spoiled kids. Because
not the first time I've heard that. Not the first time I've heard that.
Here we are in the United States, the quote unquote leader of the free world, all these rights like you just talked about. But along with that,
we got all the toys.
We also understand that with health and fitness, you got to pull some of that back. You got to get rid of some of that thinking, and that can be hard for a lot of people. Yeah. It's like what did Ronnie Coleman used to say? Everybody want to be a bodybuilder. Don't nobody want to lift this heavy ass weight. But he was speaking the real truth. Everybody wants to do it, but not everybody really wants to put in the effort for it.
Yep. And the talk about it is very cheap.
So, we go be on that soapbox all day long, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Yes, I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to thank you so much for talking with me today. I think it's very, very cool how far you've come and all the different things that you've explored. And it's once again, it's BDF Body Therapy on social, right?
Yep, BDF as in my initials, Brent Dwayne Foster, BDF Body Therapy on Instagram.
Excellent, and pretty soon you'll be leveraging that channel to serve clients that are outside of your first circle of reach and outside of that face-to-face wall. So that's
absolutely.
Coming
soon,
you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you for everything, man. Good talking to you.
It was really nice talking to you, and I will let's stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Next time I'm in the Bay, I'll let you know.
All right. Later, man.